Oklahoma approves more than $158 million in broadband grants. Cox Communications files suit against the Rhode Island Commerce Corporation. AT&T agrees to remove lead-sheathed lines from Lake Tahoe. And a membership Optic Path bundle from the Fiber Broadband Association. Those stories and more on This Week in the Broadband Universe. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Craig Corbin. $158 million in broadband grants have been approved by the Oklahoma Broadband Governing Board. Unanimous approval on 50 grants came Thursday afternoon. 12 internet service providers will use the grants for projects in 28 counties across Oklahoma and provide more than $109 million in matching funds. This marks the second tranche of broadband grant funding approved by the Oklahoma Board this year. In total, awards from ARPA CPF and ARPA state and local fiscal recovery funds now exceed $500 million. The funding will bring high-speed internet access to more than 66,000 locations in 57 of Oklahoma's 77 counties. Still ahead for the Sooner State, $750 million in BEAD funds to be administered by the Oklahoma Broadband Office. Congratulations to Executive Director Mike Sanders and the entire OBO team. Earlier this week, Cox Communications filed suit against the Rhode Island Commerce Corporation, seeking a declaratory judgment and injunctive relief. The lawsuit asserts that the Commerce Corporation should be prohibited from using, quote, flawed internet speed data, end quote, in the distribution of Rhode Island's $108 million BEAD funding. In its rebuttal statement, the Commerce Corporation wrote that, quote, Cox did not submit public comments on the design of the BEAD program, did not raise concerns at Public Broadband Advisory Council meetings, and declined to share its network map information during the 90-day Rhode Island Broadband Map Challenge process, end quote. We will certainly follow this story as it develops. Elsewhere, John Malone, the legendary cable cowboy, is looking to streamline his cable portfolio by merging Liberty Broadband with Charter Communications. Malone has substantial interests in both. That apparently was good news for Liberty Broadband stock, with shares jumping 26% on the announcement. Malone owns a 49% voting stake in Liberty Broadband, which holds a 26% interest in Charter Communications, and also owns Alaskan telecom company GCI. The Liberty Broadband announcement was a counter-proposal to the special committee of the board of directors of Charter that had made an initial merger proposal back on September the 15th. Earlier this year, we brought you a story about miles of lead-sheathed telecommunications lines on the bottom of Lake Tahoe. AT&T has agreed to remove upwards of 8 miles of the decades-old telecom lines, pending approval in federal court in the Eastern District of California, slated for November the 7th. The agreement between the California Sport Fishing Protection Alliance and AT&T comes from a 2021 lawsuit brought by SCPA alleging that AT&T had cables discharging lead into the lake, violating California's Proposition 65 and posing a risk to humans and the environment. AT&T will work with the League to Save Lake Tahoe to remove the cables. According to CSPA, more than 107,000 pounds of lead will be removed from Lake Tahoe in the process. Bundles are all the rage. You can bundle streaming services, games, books, software, and, of course, home and auto insurance. Now, FBA, the Fiber Broadband Association, has joined in with its Optic Path membership bundle. That combines FBA membership with their optical telecom installer certification program known as Optic Path. The bundle offers access to a deep ecosystem of broadband operators, suppliers, policymakers, and innovators for organizations looking to invest in workforce development and training. Optic Path has been rolled out in 40 states with 44 service providers and 70 community colleges and training institutions. According to a recent study published by FBA and the Power and Communication Contractors Association, the broadband industry will need to recruit and train nearly 180,000 workers over the next decade. That's just to complete networks currently being funded by federal and state programs. In other news, Amazon will no longer be permitted to sell Fire Sticks using HEVC technology in Germany, that following a ruling from Munich Regional Court that is seen as a victory for Nokia. The court found Amazon to have infringed on a Nokia patent protecting a method for efficient, scalable system adaptation, or streaming adaptation, rather. Amazon must now pay damages and provide Nokia with information regarding its revenue from products covered under the ruling. In addition to Germany, Nokia has filed cases in the United States, United Kingdom, and India. California Public Utilities Commission has approved all but $2.4 million of the $174.4 million in last-mile funding recommended earlier this month. Grants are now officially slated for one county, one city, 3 smaller providers, and 3 tribal entities in California. The grants will expand broadband service in Del Norte, El Dorado, Humboldt, Santa Clara, and Siskiyou counties. And finally, more streaming channels to choose from. The Big 12 Conference and Raycom Sports launching the league's first FAST, or free ad-supported television channel. Big 12 Studios will feature in-game footage, highlights, and replays of historic Big 12 Conference showdowns, along with in-depth expert analysis. And from Google TV, its library of free channels continues to grow. 7 more channels, bringing the total number of built-in free Google channels to 157. Among the 7 newest additions, Dog Whisperer with Cesar Millan, and the Bob Ross Channel. Who hasn't watched at least one episode of the late, great, prolific painter, encouraging aspiring painters everywhere? And like Bob said, it's our world. If we want a big tree in it, we can have a big tree. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on This Week in the Broadband Universe.